Today, Cindy peeled the refrigerator. Have you ever peeled a brand new refrigerator? All the plastic and tape they put on it. It must have taken half an hour. And then you get all the detailed stuff, like where you got inside these cracks that you have to peel it and then get all the little pieces off. It's awful. But now I've got the water line hooked up to it. I had to replace the water line. I'm using this line that's made like it's made like the sink lines that you buy. So here it is, this braided metal. So that's gonna last forever. That's better than all these plastic, and in my opinion, even the copper lines, because the copper ones can kink so easily. Here's the water line that I did have. And we used some connectors that came with it. We could not figure out how to attach the connector to the PEX exactly. You know, we put the PEX down in it, we tighten it up, it would tighten all the way tight. And then when we tested the water, it was pouring water out. So that's horrible. First time I turn on the water in the house, can't stand it when something leaks, but it did, so we replaced it. You might think, Todd, what in the world, all these valves and everything? I just decided it's best. I can't stand those water lines for the refrigerator that just puncture a hole in the pipe. That always worries me, so I'm glad to have it hooked up to its own shutoff valve. And then the cold and the hot, of course, on the faucet. And then this one's gonna be the hot going to the dishwasher. And I just decided it needs its own valve too. It's just, in my opinion, the safest way to keep it from leaking. Show everything I'm doing. I was about to just do this without saying anything. I'm taking my beets, especially the ones that have, especially the ones that are having a little bit of leaves growing out of them. Some of them were getting a lot of leaves growing out of them, like this one. I don't like wearing gloves, so I'm willing to be red-handed. But I'm dicing them all on the trays and then getting them into the freezer to freeze. Once they're frozen, we'll put them in the freeze dryer. Okay, I got the dishwasher done yesterday, so it's all in there. We'll try to have a little bit of space in here. People always want to put stuff under their sink. I have a 4-inch hole cut in the bottom of the cabinet, so I put this little box around it just to keep items, you know, maybe you got something small that the big thing could knock it over into the hole and it would fall through and be lost. And this is gonna help keep things from falling in there. I just screwed a regular wall box to the back wall and put the outlet in it. So that's for my disposal. I think I'm gonna run my plug up over this pipe though to sort of keep it out of the way. We can test the disposal. It's this switch here. It's pretty quiet. Putting all this together, I eventually just took the doors off the cabinet to make it easier to get in and out. I really hate those cabinets that have that style right here that is a piece of wood that makes it so you can get on one side or the other. I've got all my water valves turned on, so I'm about to try the water now. Watching closely. I hate this more than anything. I just, electrical, I would rather have problems to figure out on electrical than plumbing. Oh, I hear water. I'm getting a small leak right here. That should be easy to fix. I just raised this side up a little bit, and hopefully this will all join together better. There it goes again. They've been making these pipes for decades. Sometimes you tighten them too much and they leak. Sometimes you tighten them not enough and they leak. You would think just some tiny improvement would make all the difference in the world, in the plumbing world. Okay, I've been running water a while on my, I don't know if it was my second or third time trying to get this right. This little seam right here is filling up with water and dripping. I wanted to make sure it wasn't this one also. I think it's doing okay, and I'm kind of wiggling the pipes around a little bit because somebody's gonna slide something on here and bump this, and we don't want it to just bump and start leaking again. I might be going on and on, but this is one of the most important checks in the whole house for me. If this starts leaking and gets into that hole and gets under the cabinet, it's gonna get up into this flooring right here. And can you imagine if the floor gets ruined right here? I mean, there are some people that can just cut out a few boards and put in a few new ones, but what a nightmare. For me, I might have to replace the entire floor if that started happening. But I think the next thing I'm gonna do is possibly work on this cabinet. We have a special mechanism to go in this cabinet so that we can utilize some of that space that's so difficult to get to in this style of cabinet. But the designer didn't realize that that mechanism needed the entire opening and there would not be space for this drawer. So I'm gonna have to cut out this wood and try to do my best to make it a really nice finish, and so that you can't tell that this piece of wood was ever here. So I discovered there was 2 sets of instructions. One was in the main big box. The other one was in one of the smaller boxes. And this one in the smaller box were old and didn't have all the information I needed. And then finally, after not being able to get this done, I went and found the other instructions and found out they were different. So that's good. But I ran into a whole nother problem. Because the refrigerator is so close, when you try to roll this out of the way, it bumps the fridge. So you can't pull this out and move it over and then pull these out. Or what I can do, if we don't use the top tray, then because the top tray is locked in, yes. Top tray is locked in, so if I take that tray off, the bottom tray is not locked in, it can be removed. So you could pull it out, remove the tray, and then you'd be able to bring everything over and pull everything else out. Or you can just use this where it is, and you can kind of push this one in, which helps you reach stuff on that one. So I'm gonna wait until Raven sees it and ask her what she wants to do. We did discover the problem with the drawer having to get rid of the drawer before the cabinets came. So they sent me a full-size door to go on here. So now I'm going to put the hinges and stuff on it and go ahead and get it installed. It's looking like a home, an empty home, a new home.